Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to episode 5 of On the Pulse, where we are going to be previewing the men's field in Indianapolis, which is coming around remarkably fast. Now, I'm delighted to be joined by two people who need no introduction, but I am going to give them one anyway. We have the six-time CrossFit Games athlete, second on the podium last year, Gabriela Migala, which is unbelievable to have you on the team, Gabby. We're super excited. And of course, the one, the only, jump ship training, Seth Page, all the way out in Hawaii. Guys, how excited are you to kick this season off?
It's going to be great. I'm very excited.
Gabby, how are you doing? Because you obviously recently announced about that second Achilles injury. Bless you. That can't have been easy. How are things now?
Oh, they're so much better. So that's why I kind of needed to give everyone update and say that I'm doing totally fine. And also being on this team is a great time for me to kind of like disconnect from everything what I'm going through and focus on like a positive thing and be a part of fitness somehow.
Well, it's a massively positive thing for us to have you on the team. So thank you so much for giving us your time and just getting involved in all of this. Talking of all of this is what our show schedule looks like for today. We're going to have a full overview of the men's field, the challenger division, the pro qualifiers, the signed pros in the latter half of the field, and signed pros from 1 to 10. And then we're going to have a little bit of fun and we're going to podium pick. Now, it's definitely not my favorite thing in the world to do, but hopefully I've done a little bit of research and as have the guys. And throughout the course of the season, you might see us doing a little bit of this back and forth. But let's take a little look at the breakdown of the athletes that are going to be coming to Indianapolis. We have, of course, our 20 signed pros that were announced at the latter end of last year, and the 10 pro qualifiers that are going to be joining them, amongst them Nate Ackerman, Tola Maracchino, and of course the 20 challenger qualifiers that are going to be competing on the floor in a different setup, looking to earn points and hopefully secure a spot in the 20 signed pros over the course of the next year of touring competition. Here's a little look at our 20 challenger qualifiers. There are some big names that stand out. You've got Jack Farlow, a CrossFit Games appearance, Rogue appearance, 2 WAZA appearances, Jorge Fernandez, Chuda Magda. There is a huge amount of quality amongst these gentlemen. Jack Razima with CrossFit Games, Adam Wadapalooza appearance. These are all going to be taking it to the floor in Indianapolis. And of course, there are still points up for grabs, and they're going to be wanting to make the most of this opportunity to then see them through to next season and to the World Championship finals and hope to take home some much needed points and potentially a pro card for next year. Amongst them, Seth, you have pinpointed one man who might well be someone to watch.
Yeah, thanks, Lauren. I'm actually looking at Matt Gilpin, who's out of Australia, but interestingly enough, he has moved to the US to train at Training Think Tank in Georgia. Sometimes big moves like that to a training camp can actually elevate somebody quite a bit, getting quality partners. Some things that stand out: he did finish 20th in the World Fitness Project qualifier. He was top 50 in the Open this year and second at Fittest of the Coast, which is actually a pretty big competition in the US if people aren't familiar with it. So all those things together, definitely one to watch.
Certainly is. And we will be keeping a firm eye on this field of gentlemen, Gabby, because there are more people to talk about.
Oh, definitely. You should definitely keep an eye on Max Creek. He had really good 2 runs at the North American semifinals where he took 15 and 16. He had also strong off-season, winning Desert City, and he placed top 10 at Wadapalooza earlier this year. So I'm really looking forward to see if he gonna keep the momentum going and if he can fight for that one of the top 5 spot at the Challengers division.
So Australians, Americans, and also Italians. Tommaso Pieri is this really interesting lad out of Italy, 28 years old, and had a dominant victory at the Fall Series Throwdown. We've seen him at Euro semi-finals. He came 34th. And in the World Fitness Project qualifier, 31st place finish. What really struck me, though, is at the French Throwdown, he finished in 12th, which was above the likes of Luka Djukic, Romain Falanou out of France, and also Nicolas Badate out of South America. And now he's been training with Andre Houdet of No Shortcuts Training. I feel like that's a really great baseline for him to progress throughout the season ahead. There's some super exciting prospects in the men's challenger field that we want you guys to keep an eye on. But what about the pro field? Because wow, that is absolutely stacked. Just looking there, you have all of the big names that we've seen across various CrossFit Games seasons, and the pro qualifiers are no different. Those top 10 names could have easily been signed pros if they'd had a little bit more time under their belts. You have the likes of James Sprague, you have Dallin Pepper, Pat Vellner, Jeff Adler, multiple CrossFit Games champions. And guess what? They're all going to be hitting the floor in Indy, which is super exciting. There are a few more unknowns, though, aren't there, Seth? Can you take us through who you would be interested in talking a little bit about?
If you want to talk about Colin Bossard, I have some info for you about him. He's a young guy from Switzerland with an extensive gymnastics background, and you can see that coming through in some recent performances, especially with how well he did in the Open this year, finishing 12th in the world. He's 7th in the qualifier, and also he is just kind of stepping up for the first time into probably what's going to be the biggest challenge of his career in this first course stop. Now, he did have a shot at a games qualification spot previously and had a rough go on that final day last couple events. So we're going to see if he can kind of right the ship, so to speak, at this first tour stop.
So Colin Bossard is someone that we've probably seen a little bit more this season, right? And last season with his success in the Open, and also when he went to European semi-finals, but almost at the other end of that kind of Challenger 10 spectrum is someone that we've seen at multiple CrossFit Games, Gabby, but is always as part of the team competition.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to highlight Tola Marquinhos. He's been to the game 6 times with teams, and he has always finished there in top 12, including 3 times in top 4 and 2 podium finishes. He competed also individual in Dubai a few times, and in December, he finished 5th overall. So that was his highest finish there. Um, what's really cool about him, he's also very strong, and he could possibly jerk over 400 pounds in a workout 4A. So that's gonna be something to look forward, definitely.
Tolo Maracagno on any lifting event is almost like a sure thing, and he's been so fun to watch over the last 10 years of CrossFit Games, and I've no doubt we're going to see more of the same, especially now he's moved to CrossFit Oslo to train with some of the best in Europe. So I would like to highlight Nate Ackerman, not just because he's going to be the youngest competitor on the floor out in Indianapolis. At only 21 years old, he's also made a name for himself. He won the teen division at the 2021 CrossFit Games, and he's proven that he's only getting better with a third place finish in the World Fitness Project qualifiers. I think that in itself makes him super exciting. But not just that, he's moved over to CrossFit Mayhem with Coach Dom, and he's been training with the likes of Jorge Fernandez and Luke Parker. So a huge amount of experience to lean on and lots of things to learn. So we have got a huge amount of depth in that pro field. But speaking of depth, the top 20 is just as exciting. Look at those names from 11 to 20. We've got some of the biggest names in the world of fitness right there, including CrossFit Games, athletes, and winners, and plenty of recognizable names. Chandler Smith and Noah Olson recently completing a Hyrox this weekend, just showing their versatility. We've got 11-time consecutive CrossFit Games athlete Bjorvin Carl Goodmanson on that list. And of course, big names out of Europe in Jelle Hoster and Janikowski. Guys, when you look at this list, who stands out to you?
Well, I'm going to jump right on Sam Kwan here. I've known Sam personally for many, many years. I've watched him compete since he was a teenager at regionals way back in the day. And Sam is one of the most polarizing athletes in the sport. You see him finish in some extreme highs. He's got as high as second place at the CrossFit Games. And then he's had some years that weren't really right down his alley, and he didn't have the strongest finishes. So Sam is one of those athletes that if he's healthy, he's feeling good, he's a top 10 threat at any competition in the entire world. When he's not on his game, he can still hit some home runs in some of the events, but you may not see that super high finish that we'd like to see from him. So Sam, potential top 10, big name. Sometimes he's overlooked because he has a bit more of a quiet personality, but really amazing to watch.
Undeniably so. You get this real sense of vets versus newcomers. Sam Quant probably fits a little bit into that vets character, but Travis Mayer and Olsen, Yonakoski and BKG. And then Gabby on the other side, youngster Victor Hoffer out of France, Luka Djukic, but also Jelle Hoster.
I wanted to highlight Jelle because he had a really breakthrough. I mean, his breakthrough came in 2023 when he qualified for the games and he finished there 10th as a rookie. He also finished second at European semifinal last year. And I'm going to say that he's this type of athlete who can win events. He's great runner. He excel with odd objects. And looking at the workouts that we're going to have in Indy, I think we can expect to see a lot of good things from him.
He has been unbelievably impressive on the European scene and internationally over the last couple of years. I feel like he's only just hitting his stride. And he's got a lovely relationship with his coach, Andre Houdet. And again, that just seems to be improving year on year. And I feel like in the next couple of weeks, we're going to truly see what he's capable of. Similarly so, Jorvin Carl Goodmanson, he has been on the scene of fitness forever, but he doesn't show any signs of stopping. He's got multiple top 6 finishes at Rogue, a 10 times regional semifinals athlete. He's had 3 wins in that time. He's got 2 CrossFit Games podiums. But when I look at the workouts that are coming in Indianapolis, they're all potential panic workouts, right? They're race style. And this guy has a mental game second to none. And he doesn't get sucked in to anything that would make him panic. He's so consistent and smooth. I think it really lines up quite well from him. Obviously, he has a huge background in gymnastics and heavy lifting. I mean, he's made history with 11 consecutive times at the CrossFit Games. And I have no doubt we'll continue to see him thrive on the World Fitness Project stage. So very excited. And apparently today he's been testing the workouts, gang. So he's getting a really good feel as to literally right this second, I'm told. He's getting a really good feel of what's to expect out on the floor there. And what I find absolutely unbelievable is we're talking about all of these big names and they are in 11 to 20 of the field. When we look at the field, the top signed pros, I mean, it's an incredible group of names and spread across so many different nationalities. And they're all names that we have recognized and know. And they're names that could really do some damage over the course of the weekend. How so, Seth?
Well, I'm going to highlight Pat Bellner, and there isn't a lot that needs to be said about him because the stats speak for themselves. If there was a Mount Rushmore of competitive fitness athletes, Pat Bellner's face would be up there with how consistent he's been over a decade. Countless podium finishes at the CrossFit Games, a number of individual wins at some of the biggest competitions around the world. Just when you think it might be his last year and you start to count him out, he comes back, punches the competition in the gut, and usually steals a podium spot from someone who thinks they're up and coming. So never, ever count out Pat.
Gabby, a CrossFit Games winner is on your list.
Definitely. Jeff Adler is definitely someone that deserves a highlight here. Since winning games in 2023, he really established himself as a threat to win every competition he shows up to. At 2023 Rogue Invitational, where he finished second, that was the last time actually when anyone in this field has beaten him in light competition. He doesn't really have a lot of weaknesses. And looking at the workouts in Indy, maybe sled eco bike is the only chance for his rivals to take some points from him. And to me, he feels like he's the man to beat right now.
I mean, he's been the man to beat quite a lot recently, hasn't he? He's an incredibly impressive athlete. And I'm going to follow him up with another CrossFit Games champion, this time from 2024 in James Sprague. Also the 2025 Wodapalooza champion, 2 back-to-back huge accolades in under this 23-year-old's belt. A 4th at the recent Mayhem Classic and 18th in the Open. There's a lot to come for this young man. I think mostly he's just got this unbelievable engine. World Fitness Project workouts 1, 2, and 6 reward aerobic pacing and transition management. And he has proven that time and time again that these are areas in which he thrives. He's got high-level gymnastics capacity workouts 1 and 3, that could easily play into his strengths. And ultimately, he's proven from his time as a teen champion, but also at the CrossFit Games last year, that he has the mental poise and the experience in big moments to really bring it home. So, as the reigning fittest man on earth, I think he has to be up there in the conversation of people who could take home a win at Tour Stop event number 1. Okay, so we teased it at the top of the show. It is that time for Podium Picks. Now, Gabby and Seth, they've gone away, they've done their research, and they have come up with who they might see on the podium. And oh my gosh, so have I. Already terrified to share my opinion on this, guys. And bless you, Gabby, you have the most experience out of all of us, so you're going to kick us off with your third place podium pick. Who have you got?
I will go with Darlene Pepper.
What about you, Seth?
Well, I would say coming off a nice victory at the Mayhem Classic, Austin Hatfield has some solid momentum running his way.
I think that is completely fair, and Dallin features of mine as a little tidbit, but a bit further up. I've gone with Roman Krenikov. He's got a huge amount of strength capacity. He's good at grunt work. He's steady in every format. And let's be honest, he's had a turbulent few years when it comes to the CrossFit Games. I think he's got something to prove. Right. Number 2 podium pick. Gabby, who you've got?
Number 2, Ricky Gerhardt.
For my second pick, I'm going to go with Dallin Pepper. I think Dallin, even though we haven't seen him compete super recently, he's one of the fittest, if not the number 1 guy to break out for the entire season. So he's my number 2.
Number 2, Jeff Adler. He's got no holes to his game. He's very good. It's a strength-heavy weekend. He's very good at just managing load. And he's got a proven championship mindset. So Jeff Adler, number 2, if not number 1. I think it's still toying in my brain a little bit. What about your number 1s, guys?
And my number 1 is definitely Jeff Adler. I don't think anyone's going to catch him this weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to follow suit with that. Jeff Adler, he just hasn't really been beat at anything that's been meaningful in the last, as long as I can remember. So until he gets beat, I'm putting him number 1.
Yeah, I think that's completely fair. I've gone with Dallin Pepper. I feel like that's good. It shakes the leaderboard up. But, Dallin is not very flashy. He's got a huge amount of power. He gets the job done. He may not win with like the fastest sprint or the heaviest lift, but he's so consistent and will likely be top 5 throughout the weekend. And I'm super excited to see how he develops. I'm going to put him at the top spot. But I have no doubt that Jeff Adler is going to be fighting for every single point as well. I don't know if you can tell how awkward I feel about podium picks.
It's hard. It's so hard.
Really tough. Especially Gabby, you know how much effort every single athlete puts in. No athlete goes into a competition thinking, oh, wouldn't it be great if I came third on a podium, really? Like, very few. Everyone goes in it to win.
Yeah, everyone just wants to win. That's the point.
And at this level of competition, it's not even about who's truly the fittest. It's about who executes the best throughout this weekend. So one mistake from a top athlete can shake the entire leaderboard up. So we're just kind of going with our gut at the moment because anything can happen.
I completely agree. You can only play what's in front of you at the time. And what is in front of us is a very exciting weekend ahead where Seth, you're going to be on the desk show. Gabby, you're going to be in commentary with the guys. And we're all going to be in Indianapolis enjoying Tour Stop number 1. And it's coming up so unbelievably quickly. Friday, the 9th of May is where it kicks off. May the 11th is where we will have our top 3 and our champions at the close of play. And this has been On the Pulse. My name is Lauren Smith. Thank you so much to Seth Page and Gabriela Migala for joining us on this show. Guys, it is such an unbelievable weekend of fitness ahead. We hope you join us and hang the fire because we have got more preview shows coming your way. And On the Pulse, Tommy Marquez, Annie Thorisdottir and Katrin Davidsdottir are going to be taking you through the women's field. So much more to come. We'll see you soon.